Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It is said by some people that the Baloch nation are descendants of the Maratha prisoners from the Third Battle of Panipat. Although this is factually wrong, and in reality the Baloch are an Iranian nation just like the Tajiks, Persians and Kurds, you might wonder why do some people try to connect the Baloch nation with the Marathas. You might wonder whether this connection is real or just political. Well, fun fact, yes. This connection is surprisingly real. The story goes back to the 18th century when Ahmad Shah Durrani defeated the Marathas at the Third Battle of Panipat in 1761, and a large number of Marathas became his prisoners. Ahmad Shah wanted to take them to Afghanistan, but the problem was that by the time they reached Balochistan, the prisoners became very rebellious and hard to control. Furthermore, Ahmad Shah did owe a lot of money to Baloch Sardars, and so he gave them the Maratha prisoners as slaves instead. Over time, these Maratha slaves became more accepted in the society, and many even converted to Islam and assimilated into the local society. Even today, many descendants of Marathas use the word Maratha with their Baloch surnames, like Bukti Maratha, instead of just using the surname Bukti. Along with Sindhis and ethnic Baloch Hindus, the Marathas form a very important proportion of Balochistan's Hindu community. Historically, there used to be another ethnic Baloch Hindu community known as the Bhagnari Hindus, along with a very small ethnic Pashtun Hindu community. But in 1947, when the partition took place, they left for India. Today, the Pashtun Hindus live in Rajasthan, whereas the Bhagnari Hindus live in Mumbai. Other than the Baloch nation's false descent from the Maratha prisoners, there are some other myths about the Marathas of Balochistan that are worth debunking. Myth number 1. It is believed by some people that although the Baloch nation is not descended from the Marathas, the Bukti and Mari tribes are descended from them. Although logically it does make sense for tribes to be descended from groups of people, the reality is that the Bukti and Mari tribes have existed long before the Marathas even came. Like other Baloch, they are also of Iranian origin. The only truth is that the descendants of Marathas in Balochistan live mostly amongst the Bukti and Mari tribesmen. So this has caused some people to mistakenly believe that the whole tribe is in fact descended from Marathas, which is, as we mentioned, not the case. Myth number 2 is the belief that the Marathas of Balochistan have rebelled against Pakistan 4 times. Now, historically, tribal revolts have existed in Balochistan for centuries because the society is largely tribal. Since Pakistan was created, there have been 4 uprisings in Balochistan, but most of the rebels were actually ethnic Baloch, and only a minority of the population actually took sides in the revolts. Majority chose to be neutral. Nobody really knows how many Marathas are there in Balochistan because they are largely assimilated in the local society. But what we do know is that there are around 500 and 1,000 Marathas living in other parts of Pakistan, mostly in Karachi. But they have nothing to do with Panipat, and many of them are Hindus. I hope you enjoyed watching, and a special thanks to the acknowledgements you can see on my screen.